And this is a cool example of, well, I had this last week when I was riding my bike in Amsterdam. Like some guy, he yelled some bullshit to me, right? And I was like, there are two things you can do. If your ego gets in the way, the first thing you want to do is kick his ass, right? Like shut him up, like say, fuck you and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm not going to go down to his level. I'm going to take the high road and just let it happen. Don't even respond. Like I literally looked at him and smiled and just said nothing. I was like, okay, take it in. For 5 seconds, I felt bad. I was like, I'm not going to let it ruin my day. Just breathe in, breathe out, boom, gone.
So amazing about you, because you told me the story when it happened, and I had to say it right away. Yeah, but and I dude, I appreciate the story so much, because like for me, I'm like, if I put myself in your shoes right away, I'm like, I would have went after him. I would have said something to him. Like, dude, like this is where I conflict with my ego. This is where I still have problems to this day. Like I view those people as bullies, and like I built myself up to fight the bully, and that's why I did this. But it reversed on me. So now I'm kind of the bully bullying the bully. And like fighting fire with fire, you know, and it's stupid. It's hate versus hate. And I got to like really, really let this get into my head. But I still fight with a whole other thought, because now I'm like, well, now I'm fighting right or wrong. And that's wrong. You can't do that. And someone's got to tell you. And I'm like, why do I have to tell them? So I go over this shit all the time, man. Like, kudos to you, man. And it was inspiring to me, because like from here on out, man, I'm going to really try to focus on those moments and just walk away. I really am. It's the best thing we could do for ourselves.
But it also makes sense where you come from. Like you grew up in a time in your life where you had to fight for yourself all the time. You know, otherwise like you said, you would not have been here. So it's also now you're in a different environment, so you're slowly changing. That makes sense. That it takes a bit of time. So we shouldn't also not judge ourselves for making the wrong decision at that moment, as long as we know deep inside what we have to do.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, man. Like a really good point. And we all carry our past with us. And so, I mean, that's why it's such a good point, is that a lot of our ego is coming from experiences and circumstances that happened to you throughout your life and your past. And, you know, that's really how we get shaped and molded. And like, that's what I still deal with, is like the old me is still in there fully. And I'm just trying to keep it at bay. And I say that a lot, like, you know, I may come across sometimes as like not egotistical, but like deep inside me, I still am. And I think admitting that is okay. But like, I love how you put it though, like slowly getting better. Like I gotta give myself credit. Like I'm not going to just change overnight. This doesn't work that way.
I think it's reversed. Deep inside you are, but sometimes it slips up in being not. I think it's the other way around.
No, you're right. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that's where it's sneaky.
Go ahead.
It's all good. Go ahead.
My teacher had this great example of we had some great lessons during our university where we were discussing real life dilemmas, and he was like, when someone drops a wallet, right? Like, are you going to take it or are you going to give it back? Well, for most of the people, it's quite a clear answer. But my teacher did that. He really had this in real life, and he gave the money with a couple $100 in it, and it was a guy in a huge car. He grabbed the wallet. He didn't even say thank you. He looked at him with a gnarly face and just slammed the door and drove away, right? But my teacher was like, I still did the right thing. No matter what the reaction was, no matter what person is, I still did the right thing. And that's the most important thing. Like, don't get affected by how someone responds. If somebody is an asshole about it, doesn't matter. Like, his bad energy will attract bad energy. Like, it will come to him eventually. So you still did the right thing by giving back that wallet.
This is how we create real karma in our life. Like, that's it right there. I wish people would understand this. It's like, you know, when you do things like that, like right away, most people would be like, oh, I shouldn't have given that money to that person. That's bullcrap. You should have said, you know, thank you or whatever, you know, you feel like they should have said. And your teacher did the exact right thing. He said, I don't care what he did. Like, this is for my good karma in my life. I do the right thing, so the right thing will happen to him, you know? And who cares about that person? It wasn't for him. It's for good karma in your life. And like that is, it's a really cool thing that he pointed that out, because like my wife's the one that like gave me that lesson. And I say it all the time, like, do the right thing even when no one's looking. That's how you create good karma in your life. Luck will come your way. Good things will start to happen to you. Good fortune will happen to you. Yep. It works.
Like, if you can get away with it, what are you going to do? Are you going to do the same thing or be an asshole all of a sudden?
Yeah, and if you're that person that's taking it and getting away with it, like, why don't you start looking at your life? I guarantee you got problems all over the place, and that's like a direct result of your mind and you thinking you could get away with things because now you just taught your mind a habit of shortcuts and just taking things instead of working for it. And when you do this, that's your mind's like, oh, life could be a lot easier. Why am I working hard for this? It tricks you. It's the ego again. It's going to come in. It's going to trick you.
It's a trick, yeah.
Yeah, it's a trick. It really is. And like that's, like you said, our thoughts aren't ours. They really will trick you and make you do stuff you shouldn't be doing. And you know deep down it's wrong. But you just continue on doing it. That's the ego. That's the thoughts. Like they are going to sabotage you in every aspect.
Exactly. Love how you put that. And it can also tricky when you give something. Because often people give something to do it for themselves and not for the person who they are giving to. So I have an example of this. So often when people do something for a homeless guy, they're often going to film it or put it on YouTube. Then you're not doing it for that person, but you're just doing it for yourself. And I had a kind of deep example of this. I was this girl, we were friends, and then she started liking me, and I was like, nah, we're such in a good place with friends, so we can go into a relationship. And then she said, okay, that's fine, but then I have to distance myself, cut the contact and give myself some space. And then it was her birthday, and I really wanted to text her like, happy birthday. Of course I wanted to do that. But I was like, she really asked me to stop texting her so she could get over it, right? So I decided not to do it. And then people were asking like, why didn't you do that? Because then I said, if I would wish her a happy birthday, then I would do it for me and not for her. I would have the feeling, hey, I'm still thinking about you and caring about you, so I'm going to send you a text and send you a happy birthday, but she's going to feel shitty because she sees the contact again and gets involved again. So it was better for her not to do it.
Yeah,
that makes
dude.
sense.
No, it does, man. That's like a beautiful story, man. That's a really good way of thinking is you are beginning to understand why you do things, because mindlessly doing things always steers you in the wrong direction. And you knew it right away. Like, this is, if I were to text her this for me because I want to do it. But like you said, like deep down, you knew that she needs distance from you. And so you gave her that and you let her make the choice. That's going to create good karma. You're not being selfish anymore, and especially in those moments, you can't be selfish. Respect is key, and you create good karma from that.
Exactly. So for the people who are listening, next time you give something, shut up about it. Don't tell anyone. You're going to see how hard that is, actually, to not tell your friend, wife, brother, whatever. Don't tell anyone. You're going to see how hard it is because you've done something good and you're proud of it. You're going to see this.
And it's super, super hard. It really, really is. Like, I still struggle with it to this day. There's all kinds of things I want to brag about all the time. And I'm like, I just know it. I'm like, this is just personal. Like, it's not, I'm doing it for the right reasons, for the right thing, not to brag, not to show the world. I'm doing this to like, I'm doing the right thing for my life, I guess, is the best way to think of it, right?
Yep. And there are always going to be people that are going to bitch anyway. So I have this example of Lewis Hamilton. When Australia was on fire, like it was a year ago. He did a donation of a couple $100,000. He didn't tweet about it, but it did come out though. And then not everybody, but a lot of people were like, yeah, he does this for publicity. And I'm like, shut up. Like, it doesn't matter it's not about him. It's about the people and the animals in Australia. So why even focus on his gift? Like, it's amazing that he did his gift. Doesn't matter if he does it for himself or it's his choice. And the result is that we're still helping. So please focus on that instead of shitting on him.
Yeah, I don't get that with people. It's like you're going to do that to a person that's actually making a big difference. By the way, $200,000 is a lot for anything that's, if you need help with it. So, like, morally, that felt like the right thing for him to do, and he didn't have to. So I agree. Like, what are we focused on? Like, why he did it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, to get, especially if he didn't tweet about it or brag, then obviously it didn't come from a bad spot, right?
Yeah, and even if he did tweet it about it, I watched this Steve O video where he shared a video how he made a $600,000 of donation, and he was like in the beginning, first I didn't want to record a video because I didn't want people think that I only did it for the shine or the fame, but it was like, fuck that, my fans made it happen, my fans made all the donations, so I'm going to share it and thank you guys, and this is what we did, and we're going to continue doing this. So again, you have this battle of ego, but it's not about what people think of you, just do what feels right anyway,
Yeah, I think too, like the tricky thing about all of this is the internet. Because like when I look at the internet, I'm like, you're opening it up for a lot of like people that just really don't understand things at a deep level. And so a lot of ego starts to pour in on the comments, and judgments come in, and people try to figure out where it comes from. They don't even understand their self and why they do things. And like,
exactly.
That's the hardest thing for me to get over sometimes, man, is like when I see people do good stuff and then you got these like justice warriors walking in and condemning them because they think you should have done it a different way. It's like, what are you doing there? Like, I don't really understand why people do that, but at the same time I do, because I do get it, like that the ego is it's just corrupting your thoughts. Just telling you like you don't even know why you're doing that.